Okay, so this is the thing. I have to do this. I have a need to do this. American people say they don't want war. Prove it. Tell your president that you don't want nuclear war. Russia, China, they both have come up with a double freeze idea, which is a wonderful idea. Means everybody just stops. Everybody, North Korea just wants to sign a peace treaty and they'll stop. Our president can't get off his fucking ass and do that. Well, that tells me we want war, at least up there. Maybe not all the American people, but at least our government does. So, fuck them. Apparently, all that's going on. Your freedom of speech is apparently going, and your freedom to right to assembly is apparently going. So, guess what, people? You no longer have the normal United States you're used to. You don't have all those freedoms. So, do me a favor. Don't be hypocritical and say that America's the freest country in the world, because it really isn't anymore. We're hell, I'll put us equal with the lowest countries in the world. We might be rich, but I'll put us low. So, yeah, there you go. Um, Beyond that, the fact that we're trying to start wars with, you know, all those countries down south and everything else under the sun. How about the fact that Russia is actually the one to take credit for getting ISIS out? How about the fact that maybe we've been in bed with ISIS and Al Qaeda since the beginning? Maybe that's something to think about. You might not agree with me, but you'll never hear it on regular news because regular news, well, hell, they're going to lie to you and only print what the government wants, anyways. And this isn't a conspiracy theory, it's fact. If you listen to international news, everybody in the international news has issues with this shit. So just about every country. So unless everybody's wrong but me is everybody's idea in the United States, well then guess what? I got news for you. If how's the old phrase go? If someone calls you an ass, you punch them in the nose. The second time if someone calls you an ass, you punch them in the nose again. The third time someone calls you an ass, well, maybe you're just an ass. And right now, that's what Americans are. We're so wrapped up into ourselves thinking that we can't be defeated. Well, guess what? Here's a little news. If everybody gets tired of our shit, we might be able to defeat a lot of countries, but I think we can't take on the whole world. We're not Hitler. It didn't work for him. It ain't going to work for us. And yes, I'm putting the United States in the equivalent to Nazi Germany's Hitler at this point. Ain't no different, in my opinion, these days. That's what we're going to. So if you don't want to be like Hitler, and you don't want racism, and you don't want all that, well, then you have to respect freedom of speech. You have to respect all that other shit. And you know what? You have to go to what this country was originally designed for. These days, we're not doing it. Well, here I am signing off. This is it. United States, you can kiss my ass because I don't agree with a damn thing we say. And if I could get out of this country and, announce it, denounce my country, I would in a heartbeat. There's a problem. Oh, yeah, by the way, you know how this country, I'm going to add this, this country says you can denounce your thing, everybody's like, well, why don't you leave? Well, it's not that easy. You can't just leave this country. It's actually easier to leave some other countries. You don't like it, just leave. Doesn't work, because you have to pay $4,000 to denounce your country. You actually have to pay money to denounce your country. Oh, and by the way, that's not going to get you out of paying taxes in this country. By the way, all those illegal immigrants, there was a bill passed a while ago, which kind of makes me think that they're legal immigrants now, because anyone that's spent more than 130 days in the United States has to pay taxes because they're considered an accidental citizen. Well, guess what? That means if you came here and visited some relatives in 3 years and spent a few months throughout 3 years, enough to do 130 days or 130 days over a few months. Well, that's only 3 or 4 months over, or maybe 5 tops over 3 year time. That's not a lot. Let's say you got an old couple and they come over and they spend 2 months here, 2 months there, and then a third year they come over for a month. Ooh, they're accidental citizens. Now they have to pay taxes to the United States, or fill out for taxes, and then they're fined and everything else. Yeah, accidental citizenship. Well, guess what? That means that every illegal immigrant that's ever came into this country is an accidental citizen, which also means by that law, you should make them citizens. Or get rid of this damn thing that makes people accidental citizens. Because there's a lot of people out there. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to believe, Americans, but there's a lot of people out of there that do not like the U.S. and do not like to live in the U.S. And they're not all just communists. They just don't like our policies. And honestly, there are a lot of other countries that you are more free than you are here. Maybe not third world countries. I hate when people say, they compare us to third world countries. Well, not every country is a third world country. And, you might actually have a better chance in all those other countries. Japan's one of them. Britain ain't the greatest, but they're not the worst. They're definitely better than we are. Ireland, Scotland. Oh, you name it. Spain. Yeah, they have terrorists over there. What do you fucking do? We caused it. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, the whole migrant thing, going up to all this, due to the fact that we bomb and murder innocent women and children in Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, murder their children, murder their families, through bombing and other means, saying we're going after ISIS, which is bullshit. Yeah. Well, I got a little news for you. Maybe that's why people are fleeing their countries. Maybe we should actually take responsibility for some of our actions for once. How about getting the hell out of their countries in the first place? They don't need us. The one thing they need is us to get out. Oh, and the one country over there that we're really good buddies with, when we say it's a humanity crisis, here's another little inkling. The one that has the most human rights violations in the world, actually supports slavery in some senses, actually rapes people and beats them and all this other shit, and there's no criminal charges pressed on any of their people that do that, is Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, that kind of thing. Those areas, yeah, the ones that we're buddies with, yeah, the ones that we do all our military spending. So don't tell me that we're out for any of these battles for human rights, because you know what? We really don't give two shits. At least our government doesn't give two shits about it, and you don't, because half of the people out here don't even hear about it. Either way, fuck you, U.S. This is me signing off. This is for Donald Trump, for North Korea, and oh, yeah, by the way, before I sign off, this will probably get me killed or arrested, but I really don't care. This is my opinion. Maybe if some of the other countries threatened the United States with nuclear war, if we actually went into North Korea and fought with them, maybe that would be a deterrent due to the fact that we're not willing to actually do any peace with them. I don't want to see nuclear bombs dropped, but, maybe the threat of the idea from Russia, China, somebody else that has it, saying either you back off or this or that, might actually do it, because you know what? Asking us to do a peace treaty isn't going to help. Our president doesn't give two shits, because if he did, it would have been easy for him to go, okay, I'll sign a peace treaty, we'll both back off, we'll both be friends. And by the way, all those sanctions we put over there, since we say, oh, well, this country is so horrible, well, do you realize all those goddamn sanctions are actually why they're like that? We did that to them, not their own government. Got news for you. Any country we sanction and blacklist like that hurts the people in the country. Not the government, but the people. So yeah, that's us doing it, not them. So why don't we take credit for what we do for once? We're bad guys these days. Matter of fact, we've been bad guys for a while. That's the United States. Took from the Indians, and stole from them. We steal from everybody. We try to control everybody. That's the United States standard. If you don't comply to us and you're not buddy buddies, yeah, we'll destroy you. Again, fuck you, U.S.